Bienvenidos a Flow Design Architects, una compañía que trabaja para ti y por ti. Gracias por sintonizar.
Entonces ahora vamos a ver 3 proyectos de residencia que hicimos que tienen mucho valor sentimental para mí, para la oficina, para los clientes, claro, definitivamente. Pero tienen una historia irónica, de hecho, porque de la forma en la que yo conocí a estos clientes, yo todavía no me había graduado de la universidad, estaba trabajando en una compañía de ingeniería civil y pues conocí a esa persona y luego dejé de trabajar en la compañía de ingeniería civil y me topé con esa persona de nuevo y yo estaba haciendo Uber. Yo era un Uber driver en ese tiempo. Estaba ya terminando la universidad y ya casi con mi licencia de arquitecto. Y lo conocí a él y a su esposa. Se iban de viaje. Y lo llevé al aeropuerto. Me acuerdo como si fuese hoy. Y le dije que algún día yo voy a tener mi licencia y que algún día yo voy a tener una oficina. Y que algún día, si Dios quiere, vamos a trabajar juntos. Luego poco tiempo pasó y me llama. Y yo creo que fue el año. Y ya yo tenía la licencia. Y ya Flow estaba siendo empezado, ya estaba creciendo, ya estaba caminando. Estábamos en el sótano de donde yo vivía. Y me llama, me pregunta, que quiero hacer una casa. Pero nunca nos pusimos de acuerdo con el precio. Luego llegó esos tiempos en los que estábamos trancados, que no podíamos salir. Me llama de nuevo y me necesitaba para algo y pues me presté a su favor, le ayudé. Eran unas inspecciones que había que hacerse y las hice. Y luego me llama de nuevo a los 6 meses. Me habla de este proyecto, un development, un desarrollo bien grande de construcción de 4 casas. Ahora vamos a ver 3, pero son 4. Hay otra que está siendo diseñada ahora mismo. Y yo lo primero que le digo es, pero ¿me está llamando en serio o es mentira? Porque muchas de las llamadas nunca llevan a un acuerdo. Y digo, no, esta vez sí. Y inmediatamente vi que firmó el contrato, mandó el depósito, llegó allá mismo a la oficina mía. Y esto es a 1 hora de camino, manejó 1 hora y 20 minutos para ir allá. Y pues el proyecto se dio, se empezó. Y tiene mucho valor sentimental por esa historia, de que, ¿verdad? En ese tiempo que yo no era nada, que no tenía nada, era un estudiante común y corriente, latino, minoría, ¿verdad? Y poder mirar hacia adelante y decir, yo voy a tener algún día, yo voy a hacer algún día. Suena egocéntrico, pero en verdad hay que ponerse metas. Cada quien tiene que ponerse metas como individuo. Y tener el equipo de respaldo que creció al mismo momento que yo crecía también, de Flow, le agregó mucho más. Por ejemplo, tener una de mis personas favoritas, hay 2 en el aspecto de diseño en Flow, que son Julio Gutiérrez y Ivonne Pérez. Ivonne Pérez se encargó de trabajar en ese proyecto desde el comienzo, con su paciencia, con su sutileza, con su amor, con su delicadeza. Y pues, Darius es un poquito intenso y claro en lo que quiere, de hecho intimidante, hasta con su nombre, tenemos que decirlo bien, Darius. Si no lo dices bien hay problema. Pero, y Kelsey, pues que ella es una dulzura de mujer, esposa de él. Entonces, fue una combinación perfecta y se crearon 3 artefactos que no sé ni cómo llamarlos. Son 3 obras de arte. Y eso es lo que vamos a ver ahora. So we spoke about this project. We're gonna now go take a look inside. We have Darius here with me and Darwin Fortuna from Flow Design Architects. Let's go take a look. So we're inside this space and as soon as you walk in, double height. Amazing
What do you think, the rise?
Floor to ceiling, about 22 feet. Yeah, I mean, we wanted to create that drama. Double doors coming in through the front door. Black on the exterior, black on the interior.
Amazing. And then lighting comes all the way through. It flows
Correct.
all the way through. We
Correct.
have this connection.
Clear sight lines going to that quad slider. And then it brings the inside, outside, outside, inside.
That's right. You got it.
Love
So,
that.
and then this element, which is the
Focal point.
focal point, is the anchor of the house. People talk a lot about open concept, but this is a different kind of open concept where we have our kitchen, dining, sort of connector between living and dining.
Yeah.
So, and that's all going all around. You could actually see through it. So that anchor, what was the inspiration for that tone and that color?
Well, you want to have a feature wall, but you want to have it be intentional and still be functional for the space. So we wanted to have a fireplace. Yeah, we could have cost-effective way. We put it on the exterior wall, straight shot, the direct vented out. But instead, we took it all the way up through the roof, put it to kind of define dining room, living room, but you're still able to marry both spaces with a walk.
It is beautiful. Let's take a look at the kitchen. So here we have the golden and black that you mentioned before, and even the stone has the golden texture in it.
100%.
So that's beautiful. It's magical how you were able to put it all together and get that, but it comes in and it looks intentional, bold and clear.
Yes.
I can't think of anything that anybody would need on their kitchen.
No, we got the pot filler. You have double ovens, so instead of having them being stacked to the left or right, built in, we did a 48-inch range, 2 ovens. I think there's 6 or 7 burners on there. All the good stuff that I don't know how to use. 48-inch range hood, and again, oversized island. It's a 10-foot island. You're able to sit 4 to 5 very comfortably.
Let's take a look at the living room. So the living room again, connected by this fireplace.
Correct.
Everything put together around this very big fireplace.
Correct.
The openings are still very generous. It's not like a little window opening or door opening. It's all the way floor to ceiling.
Far beyond the minimum.
Wow. So here you can just enjoy watching the Patriots play. Nice space.
100%.
Feature wall. Natural light comes in. Having a private conversation. We were talking before about how each space is intentional.
Yes.
Each space has its own moment, its own story to tell, and sound travels through, but it still flows and it's not distracting.
Yeah.
Like you could be watching a game here, it doesn't matter.
Semi-private, a lot of windows to bring in a lot of natural light. But again, if you want to entertain here, and then you want to go into the dining room or in the kitchen, it just really works and it has that nice flow.
You asked me what my favorite part of the house was earlier, but what's your favorite part of the house?
All of it, that my name's attached to it. That's my favorite.
I love that. I love that.
I actually love the basement, honestly, to tell you.
You love
truth.
the basement?
Love the basement. It's not your typical basement.
It's such a weird thing. He loves the basement. We probably need to go take a
We're
look
going
at
to
the
see the
basement.
basement, yes.
Yeah, we should probably go. But let's go up also and enjoy more of that process of going upstairs. It does feel like a sort of a bridge, right?
Right.
You see that connector between this space
Correct.
and this space. Nice, beautiful lights. Beautiful lights. Oh my goodness, those are.
And just the detail on the craftsmanship, right? So we could have just went with a straight, for this arm rail similar to this, but you want to use the goosenecks, and make sure you marry that on both sides.
That's
And
right.
Same thing here. So all those little small details that go all the distance,
And this has become a feature of most of our designs, actually. Flow, ever since we designed these houses, all of these houses, we became enamored with the double height space.
Yes.
So we try to apply it as much
love
as
that.
possible. We became enamored with this feature space right here. Like, it's a bonus space. Some people might want an office space or something else. We're like, no.
Right.
This is another semi-private gathering space. You need to do a phone call, you need to do something, you get out of your master bedroom, you can chill out here and enjoy.
Correct.
And you don't have to be part of any of the conversations down there or in here.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you keep the privacy. So that's beautiful. This is a stage right here. You can use this in many ways.
100%.
And then the master, oof. This is something special.
A lot of space.
Lots of space.
And you still have the 8-foot doors, 10-foot ceilings. Typically, you wouldn't see that on the second floor, right? They'll scale it back, they'll scale it down. But that's not really the intent and direction we wanted with this. We wanted to carry that drama all throughout the house, all throughout the building.
Really tall doors, and ceilings that bring in all the light, and that's my favorite part of the house.
Right.
Light, how the light moves all around, the sun sets on the way there. Spacious master,
Yes.
generous closets. I mean, the closet you could live
Closet
behind.
on that side,
Yeah.
you know, and then you also have French doors. French doors into your shower, which has a his and her shower head
Oh, look at
as
this!
well.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! This is not your average bathroom. I mean, this is big,
Correct.
well-sized, oversized, nice black hardware all throughout, all the
Correct.
pictures and everything, to continue to have that drama, right? Like the dark and black
That's
and
it.
white. They play off each other, like you say. And then we have the privacy of the toilet, which is not the first thing you want to see. So you have it the perfect spot so that you don't have to worry about it. But this is super spacious, super friendly, and exactly what you wanted to build, a community like this. I mean, this is again, has your name attached to it.
We're excited about it.
How many bedrooms we have upstairs?
You have 4 bedrooms total.
4 bedrooms
Four
total.
beds, 2.5 baths, just over 4,100 square feet, including the basement.
Wow. And you like the basement so much. Why do you like the basement so? You want?
Well, we're absolutely going to take you down there. But I love the basement because it's not typical. You would never see it finished in this fashion. And we tried a new product. First time we ever tried it, and it's outstanding, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't
see
want
on
to speak too
Instagram
much.
you're posting
You did
that
see it?
every day.
Okay.
I'm like, he's crazy about these things. He's gonna want to put this everywhere now.
So let's go downstairs. Let's show you the basement.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what he has there. Basement.
Vámonos. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This is my favorite space. This is my domain. If this was my house, this is where I would be, right? So you want to entertain. Again, we know that it's in the basement, so I didn't want to have a lot of the dark contrast, right? We want to keep it light and bright. So light floors. This is an epoxy floor, seamless, no seams. This isn't tile. It isn't marble. It's just an epoxy that's finished to look like a marble. And if there was ever any water issues, just a squeegee and it goes away, just like that.
So it reminds me of the stonework that we have for
Correct.
the kitchen and all that.
Correct.
And how is this done? It's something that's applied and treated. It's like a art
100%.
piece, right? Like it's
100%. So it's you could never really make it again. It will never look exactly like this because it's, again, the flow, right? You let the stuff go
Yeah.
exactly how it wants to go. It's a stage. They grind it down. After they grind it, then they come and put a waterproof membrane on top. Then it's multiple metallic colors that they then swirl in. And it's like a 4 or 5 day process.
so this right here makes the space.
Yes.
And also the ceilings are pretty good here too. What do we have for ceilings?
So again, going back to what we talked about earlier, right? So if we did the beam pocket, the ceiling from here to here would have been probably 6, 7, and that really wouldn't have made the spaces spacious and as open as it is right now. So, but roughly 8 feet, so
Not bad.
give or take, yeah, for a
Not bad.
basement.
So this could be a whole entertainment space. I mean, you could put your pool table, you could put a mini bar, you can have all that stuff in here. It looks great. Have access to the outside too?
So if you remember on the original plan, right? The original plan, this was actually supposed to be, the exterior door was going to be here, and that was going to be open to the elements. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And again, that was my idea, but I said, I don't want to do that because I don't want to deal with water issues. I don't want to have to, this is New England. This is an exterior door, snow falling, all that's going to be in here. Water's going to ultimately penetrate in the basement. So we created a doghouse, finished another separate stairs. This year, means of egress to get up to the pool that hopefully they put in once they purchase it.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. And you're right, now I see why you love it so much.
Now you
It's
get
just peace, light, softness.
Yeah.
You know, you can furnish this in any way you want. It's gonna look great anyway. So this is beautiful.
The man cave.
That's right. That's right. All right. So here we are. One of the projects that we were fortunate to work on. My name is Darwin Fortuna, and I'm one of the principals of Flow Design Architects. And I am here with somebody that doesn't need introduction, but go ahead and introduce.
The man, the myth, the legend, Darius Gregory with Gregory Investment Group. Certainly glad to have you here this afternoon. Welcome to Mikasa.
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the journey to get to this project. So I know, and we can go way back. We met when I was at school. I was a student working at one of those civil engineering companies, and we connected. And I don't know if you remember that project in Salem, right?
I do. It's been a long journey, man. I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday, but it was 5, 6 years ago. You were still, I believe you were still in school at that point.
I was.
I don't know what institution you were in, but
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. But you were basically doing the floor plans for, I believe it was, fill in the blank. Who was the guy that?
Errol Marini.
Yeah, the crook. Yeah. I hate that guy.
I know. You can't love all of us, right? So, but at that time, I'll tell you the things that I picked up from you, and the team, your team. You guys are so ambitious. You guys have a clear vision for what it is that you're looking for. Even if you don't know exactly how to get there, you have a clear path. So that project, and that was early on. And I think that was matched when I first. I saw you after a little while. We didn't connecting anything, and I picked you up, and I was your Uber driver. Remember?
The irony in that, right?
Yeah. So at that time, I remember I had like business cards, and I was telling you I'm getting
Right.
this flow thing going, and you're like, oh, we'll talk, and we tried several times to connect. The numbers didn't work out. The deals didn't
Right.
work out, and then on this one you called me, and I knew you were 100% working with me because you showed up the next day with a signed contract and a
Money in
deposit.
tow. Oh yeah. That's how you know I'm official and it's ready to get it done. It's
So
checks in hand.
on that end, I immediately was like, wow, this is ambitious. So three houses, actually 4 houses, right? And we're in one of them right now. And we got grinding, we got going. But you came with a real clear picture for what it is that you wanted. And the team, Yvonne Perez, Julio Gutierrez, all of us working on that. But tell me about your experience, and then we'll talk exactly about what we have right here, right?
Well, we kind of alluded to it earlier, right? So the journey was, it started off with fix and flips. That was kind of my comfort zone. That's why I felt comfortable. That particular project was a 2-family condo conversion, complete gut. We went in there. I think we had allotted maybe like $400,000 for that renovation. Ended up being 20% higher than that.
Wow.
But at the time, the market was so strong, we were able to still realize a generous return at the end of the day when the 2 condos were conveyed. Fast forward, sitting down at the table, I was residing in Salem, and I said, "Hey, Kels, we could build a house easy for our family like that. Like that's okay, but that's not real ambitious. It's not really what." Putting my kind of stamp on it. So I'm like, why don't we build a house for us, but do it in a community, within a community, name the street after us, and start to build our legacy.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that all of those things that you said that back then?
Yes, 100%. And it was just pure, being fearless, seeing the vision, willing to execute the vision. And when somebody tells you no, you figure out a way that you can get them to tell you yes. And there was a lot of that. I could start with when we first bought this house, we sold a house that we renovated beautifully in Salem, moved here. My wife's hometown is North Attleboro. So it made sense to set up shop. But I saw this opportunity, 10 acres, single family house, built in 94, preliminary approvals to do a 5-unit subdivision, 5-home subdivision. I'm like, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is it right here. Let's do it. So deep negotiations back and forth. We were able to get it as is. And it's all public record, right? So we bought it for $630.
That's right.
The market has appreciated since then. Went through the whole approval process. Took about 2.5 to 3 years, believe it or not, to get through approvals. There was tons of speed bumps. We dealt with the Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Division for the state because we have threatened species that were in their priority habitats. So there were tons of hurdles. We had to jump over that. But finally, we got our comprehensive management permit. We were able to start erecting and building, and hence now we're standing in the front, the first build, 10 Gregory Way, and feels great.
Yeah. So wow, that was quick. It just shows how clear the path has been and the purpose, because you remember every single detail of that. So when you called me, you had already gone through a lot. So it wasn't like or nay, you were like, we're gonna work together. And I remember I picked up the phone and saying, is this going to be a deal? We're gonna get out of here with a deal. That was the way. We're gonna design those houses together. and that's it. You know, this is the last call that I have with you. Where we don't walk out with. Although we did something else in Swampscott.
We have,
too,
but
yeah.
it wasn't the same scale, right?
No,
It's
yeah.
all small things here and there. You know, it's kind of like, you know, specialty. Like, hey, I need you to serve for construction administration because the building inspector doesn't want to do his job because we're in the midst of COVID. So you were able to fill that
That's
void.
right, that's right.
You know, but again, this was kind of like, it goes back, right? So you know what you know who you know. And when you get comfortable, you don't necessarily want to branch out and take a risk, especially in this industry where it's like sometimes people can say they're going to deliver. They don't necessarily deliver, right? So I didn't know fully if this was in your scope and if you would be able to hit it out of the park. And 100% you did. And I knew that spot on after this build. And that's why you have my business today and moving forward.
Yeah, so, but it was a journey for all of us too, because I'll tell you, this is the biggest like endeavor for us, for Flow, honestly. I mean, when it comes to build outs, you know, like we've done 18 unit buildings and things like that. We've done 12 unit buildings, but each house has its own world and there's all these details, right? Oftentimes those big developments where you have apartments and things like that, it's copy and paste. It's the same thing, pretty much the same layout. This one's, each house was to be different in every way possible and have its own charm and touch.
Right.
Every one of them, we didn't just copy and paste the plan.
Correct.
You know, there were foundation blueprints that we have to comply with and tweak them to still give this, you know, the life that it has right now, which you guys will see through every aspect. You know, the facade, the touches with the stone, all of those elements. But again, I must say that I wasn't threatened by the approach. Like if somebody comes to me and says, "Well, I have a $20 million deal for you," you know, it might get me a little nervous, right? Because that's not my comfort zone. But this one didn't get me worried at all because again, the confidence you bring with you, and you know, Kelsey, both of you, the combination, I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be a fun process. We're gonna get through all of this. They know the kind of windows they like. They know the ceiling height. I mean, you had, you know, and we have a 4-step process, but you really had every one of those elements from the 4-step process already thought out.
Yeah.
Step 1, existing. Well, the existing is the foundation. Here it is. And here's all the survey plans.
Right.
Then step 2, envision. Here is exactly what we want and how we want it. Every step of the way. And then from there on, it was just delivering the options and figuring out which one was the best. We have multiple ones. And then we probably did like 8 houses. If you think about the iterations of each one of them.
Right, and how they've evolved and you know, for me, there was one thing, right? One word that I wanted to just instantly speak to folks that walk through it, and it was the drama, right? So the play on textures, colors, contrast. It's kind of like, you know, trying like an artist, like, you know, black and white. Like they're so very different and they play off each other. So like on the exterior, that's the direction we went. And then we wanted to bring that on the interior as well, but then have some other colors like gold to kind of, you know, off play it. Some folks say it's very bold. Black appliances, 100% bold.
Yeah.
But as long as it's tasteful and you pick the right colors to give you balance and that contrast, it works every time.
So that part, again, all of that clarity of purpose and playing with it. And I know you have fun even picking the finishes, going to different places in Boston and making sure that all of that look good. So, but tell me about the process of building it. I mean, you said all you've done was flips.
Yep.
Rehabs, full guts, things like that. You didn't have to deal with foundations and full framing of a whole building, exterior framing. Yeah. So how was that? How was that for you?
Yeah, so I guess I wasn't as concise, right? So this wasn't my first new construction project. That would be absolutely like insane to try to jump out and build, you know, a 5-lot subdivision for your first new construction project. So I originally started doing the fix and flips. Then I migrated to new construction. The first house I ever built was 73 Andover Street in Peabody. That had some limitations, conservation, need to get a zoning board variance from the ZBA. So went through all that, got familiar with the boards.
I remember you did call me about that project early on, but then, you know, I probably wasn't even ready.
I went to New Hampshire.
I wasn't probably even ready for it. Again, you have to be ready for the opportunity. When the opportunity comes, you have to be ready.
That's right.
So that when you went and got some drawings from New Hampshire and things like that. So that was good.
That was the relationship that I cultivated. It was good to work with them. You know, but that's kind of where I got my feet wet. And I'm like, all right, you can fix and flip, but there's tons of unknowns. new construction kind of runs itself. And it's, if you can align yourself with an architect that feels comfortable and confident in your execution in the field, then it's a marriage that's, well in the
Yeah,
last
because you were
lifetime.
fixed to what they already had on their
Right,
plate, right?
right.
It was like a catalog of plans.
Right.
And some people talk to me about, well, the speed of building something that's or either prefab or fab or the drawings are like a catalog. Well, you don't have any say. Really, you don't, right? In this one, for instance, you had all the freedom of everything. Not only dress it up and make it the colors you want. Every space has its own vision, its own purpose, and is thought out, right? So that's the markup. That's the defining moment. That's the thing that when you walk into this house, you say, wow, this is just cut out different. This is just a different breed. So that's what you get through every single aspect of the space. And that's what you get from working with, a great team. I'm not trying to give myself a pat on the shoulder, but Yvonne was super patient. And Julio have been super patient throughout the whole process. And flexible, and you guys have a way of working, and we kind of flow together. I mean, that's the name, flow, right? So we flow together. You're like, 5 minutes, Zoom call real quick. Yeah, let's jump on. We jump on. We get it done. So it was, you guys were super involved to know what you really wanted and what you didn't want. But the construction part. So going on the details.
Yeah. So it's all about relationships. The relationship I created with Flow is the same thing, and that's one of my strengths, right? So it's understanding people, knowing how to push, knowing how to pull back when you need to, but we're all working for a cause and we're working to a destination. So I align myself with some subs that understand me, and they understand I know this construction necessarily, at a high level, right? So this is the vision, this is where we're going. Can you get in budget? Can you run the job when I'm there and when I'm not there? Is it still the same level of execution? If so, you could be a part of the team, and let's run with it. So these subs I've been using, and they travel with me, right? My painter's coming from Salem. I found other guys locally, but some of these relationships I've cultivated over the last 5 or 6 years. And the end product, ultimately, I just have the vision. I don't swing hammers. Maybe I'll come and pick a coffee cup up or something, make sure and check quality control throughout the project. But they're really driving it, and it's really the subcontract.
So trusting the team that you've cultivated over time. I have noticed, we're a very tight and small community. Believe it, Massachusetts, right. Everybody knows everybody. So to get to this, I would say this is excellence in residential construction and design right here, right? So to get to that level, it's a craft. You got to work on your craft. And you can't go around life just getting people mad at you and burning cultivating,
bridges.
Burning bridges left and right. So to get to this level where you can build this kind of, this is, again, masterpieces. You have to, again, little bit, and trust that team, right, that you have. Correct. Same thing with Flow. Like, we've trained everybody. We worked hard on getting everybody up to speed, right? Most of them come from nowhere, from out of nothing, right? Most of us are minorities, right? At the end of the day, that barely even speak English sometimes. Like Edwin probably doesn't.
That's why I like you guys.
Gracias. So, but you build that and you cultivate it, and you don't burn any bridges, and then you get to that point where you can, now it's like the song of the elephants on jumping on the net. So the net, let's see how much we can do. Right. But that vision, man, you're fearless.
Yeah,
you're bold. Like
you can't have success in this industry if you're scared.
You walk right into this. Yeah. We're gonna do these houses. I'm sometimes puzzled. Like, how did the financial part worked out? We had a conversation. You take me to lunch and you'll tell me all the details. I'm like, is that what it costs to get? I'll get you to lunch a week. Huh? A week. It's like, hey, honey, I'm on a date with somebody. Darius. Yeah, that's right. But you surrounded yourself with very successful people. Surrounded yourself with a team that you can trust. Had a bold vision. But I'm still shocked that you said, okay, yeah, we can do these flips. We can do these homes. So let's build our own home. Have a street named after us. Create a community. And you found exactly what you wanted. Yeah. That's like the book, The Secret, I think, played out exactly like that.
Just speak it into existence. You want to manifest kind of what you want. Your dreams can really ultimately ultimately be a reality. But if you're scared to go achieve them, you know, then it will never happen. Now, again, deals aren't plentiful like they used to be. I think we're going to see a market shift now that these interest rates are rising. You're going to start to see, you know, some property values start to decline, which ultimately will create more opportunity. But to find this when we found it, you know, it really wasn't nothing more but a blessing and pure luck, to be honest with you.
Yeah, wow.
So-
Wow, but you were able to find the place, find everything, and you have your in-laws living in the same community.
Community within a community.
So you have like a built-in babysitter system there already.
Yes,
So it's like
yes.
great. So going on the construction, anything that you would have done differently, anything that you learned through this experience, like anything that, you know, we don't have to go into an hour long, but maybe we divide this into multiple videos. But
Right.
but like I just want to know how that process was. So full disclosure, we are the contractors here. Like we are the GC and team that put all of this together, and that takes a lot of trust, and
Yes.
it takes a lot of courage, like you said, like knowing that that person is gonna get you from point A to point B,
Right.
all the way through. And I was involved all in. I'm involved all in, right? All the risk and all that. But this has been a painless project for me. A completely painless project in every aspect. I don't know what I attribute that to. Like great plans. Well, the plans needed to be worked out too, for the lumber, for the pricing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I guess it's the team, right? Like, that's probably what
I mean, I kind of talked about this, you know, offline. It was just, you know, the house is perfectly imperfect, right?
Yeah.
Everything's man-made. Everything's done with hands, even from the architectural standpoint. So are there some minor tweaks that need to happen in the field? Absolutely. But that's the beauty, right, of a spec build versus building for a customer or a building for a homeowner, right? Because the client's not here. The end buyer, whoever we're going to convey this property to, they don't know what originally we were supposed to do and then how we deviated that in the field and on the plans to the final build.
So they got, this is their perfect product.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
they got
know
it.
this is all they know.
You got exactly what you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly,
got
man.
it. So it wasn't even deviating from an initial path. It was a fluid, creative process.
Yeah.
Of taking and putting, and that doesn't end. A lot of people think that it ends when you draw it.
Just
It doesn't
the
end.
flow,
It
man.
hasn't ended yet.
Just the flow, like
I
a
like
river
that.
flows, you know, goes where it goes.
I like that. So, but any major things that you never even told me, like that you never called me about, anything that you had to deal with during the construction, during the framing, during the electrical.
Yeah. So you know, there were some things where, for example, you know, I think Yvonne did like beam pockets, for example, like in the foundation, which in theory, you know, works out. But if I'm finishing the basement, then that's going to take away from the head height, right? So consequently, I'm like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Foundation's already poured, beam pockets are already in. Probably could have captured that if I was a little bit more thorough looking at the foundation
You
plans.
know, I have to stop you there. I have
Yeah.
to stop you there. You yourself, you're looking at the mistakes you made, and you're humble about it.
Yeah.
You know, like there I is, like from when I first met you all the way through now, because I saw you, like I saw where you started. But if I had met you now, I'll be like, oh, this guy's just a cocky dude that thinks he's the best. But actually, you're thorough. You know what you know and what you don't know. You seek help where you need it, and you're humble to say, in hindsight, I should have done it this way instead. And like some people are just right, and people think I am like that. I'm not like that at all, too, because that's the only way you can become successful, fixing the mistakes. So you notice that those pockets were there, and you probably would have thought of that. Yeah.
Ask me this: when I figured out that there was a problem, what do you think I said? I didn't call Darwin. Hey man, there's a problem here. There's a problem. I said no. And every contractor knows this. I'm not about problems. I'm about solutions.
That's it.
So the first thing I say is, all right, what's the solution? Talk to the framers. So then we just had to raise it up a little bit. You know, when we added, you know, a couple extra sill plates, and that's it. Done. Easy.
That's
it.
So that's perfect. So I guess, you know, this can go on forever, but you know, we do have a limited time and limited budget for everything, right? So but we could probably talk more particularly about the spaces now that we're here, right? So we've enjoyed all of this, we've seen all of this, and let's
walk you through.
Yeah, let's walk through it.
Bienvenidos a Flow Design Architects, una compañía que trabaja para ti y por ti. Gracias por sintonizar.